Good evening and welcome to Current Issues. I'm your host, Hisham Tilawi. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we promised you last week, we will be speaking about Jerusalem and the Jerusalem Conference that Current Issues TV actually has founded and is sponsoring. The Jerusalem Conference is very much what it says. It's a conference in Jerusalem, and the idea is to make people around the world aware of what is going on in Jerusalem and aware of what this city means to a lot of people, not just those the Jews, and but it is a very important city for Muslims and for Christians. Let's not forget that Jerusalem is very much connected with all three religions. Now I am joined with Jawdat Manna, who is the Media Relations Coordinator General with the Jerusalem Conference. And Mr. Manna actually he was born in around Bethlehem and educated in Berlin and London. He has worked as a journalist for the BBC, for Agence France Presse, the Dastour Jordanian newspaper. He has worked for Awqaz, the Saudi Daily, Oman News Agency, and many others. He also received many media awards and has a resume. It'll probably going to take me about 5 minutes to read his accomplishments. But really, we wanted to get Mr. Manna with us so we can talk about what exactly the Jerusalem conference is, and so we can have awareness and educate people out there for the importance of Jerusalem, and actually to the importance of visiting Jerusalem from people around the world, not just Palestinians, not just Jews, not Christians, not Muslims, but actually for everyone to enjoy Jerusalem. Mr. Manna, welcome to the program, and we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Hisham.
Joe, let's talk about the Jerusalem conference and what made you actually join the Jerusalem conference? What attracted you to the Jerusalem conference?
Well, it's a very important conference under the Israeli occupation, which it started for the East Jerusalem since 1967. What's going on there, it's a very hard harassment from the Israeli government, as well as from the military and the military settlers who attacked the Palestinians who own the houses inside the wall of the old city. And they pushed them out of their houses. Sometimes they demolished it. Sometimes they're threatening them. Many suffering for those people. I mean, what's pushed me is the point is the human rights of the Palestinian people under the occupation. When I saw through the programs of the TVs, as well as when I heard stories, when I covered the stories inside Jerusalem, that pushed me. As you know, I am independent journalist, but of course I am a Palestinian. But there is no way to support the occupation, because mostly the occupation, they are lying, and the Palestinians, they are the right. Jerusalem now, it's like a ghetto. It's separated from the other villages, which is close to the town and related to the old city, as well as from Bethlehem. Muslims and Christians cannot cross the borders, and they cannot go through the gates, the military gates, to reach the church and the Aqsa Mosque as well. I mean, they cut all the relationship between the city and the other cities behind the racism wall, which is built since 4 years ago. This conference, it's a good opportunity, not only for the Palestinians who have had a new citizenship because they deported from their homeland to United States, to the Europe, to Canada, to Australia. There is around more than 5 million Palestinians. They are away from their homeland since 48. Of course, there is about 5 million also in the whole Palestine, which is part of it called Israel now. And these live in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, and there is about 2 million also inside Israel itself. And this is good opportunity for these people to come back and to see the human rights issues in the old city.
Now,
Jawdat, they can talk to the people.
Not all Palestinians actually can or are permitted to enter Jerusalem. Like the people in the West Bank who are like 5 minutes away from Jerusalem, they're not permitted to go there.
Yeah, they can't go to Jerusalem, let's say, from Bethlehem. Bethlehem is connected with Jerusalem and Ramallah as well, and other cities like Al-Azariya, Abu Dis. There is a high wall separated these cities from Jerusalem, and they separated the people from their education societies and health societies. Everything is damaged. They damaged their life by this wall. And this is against human rights, against Geneva Convention. This is why I think it's very important for the media and for the people who really related to human rights issues to come and to see Jerusalem.
Okay. Now, the program that we're actually planning this summer, it's basically it calls for not just Palestinians who can reach there, and as you have defined, those Palestinians who actually can reach Jerusalem are those with different nationalities, because if you have the Palestinian nationality, you actually cannot go and visit Jerusalem. But those Palestinians who hold, for instance, United States citizenship or British citizenship or German, etc., European, Australians, Canadian, these people are actually permitted because they don't consider them as Palestinians. They consider them as, nationals of those countries. So those Palestinians, that's what basically the Jerusalem Conference is concentrating on. Do you see, is it in the Jerusalem Conference, is it only for Palestinians to actually go there, or anyone can visit Jerusalem and participate in this conference?
We invite anyone from overseas to join this conference, although if he's foreigner or an Arab American or Palestinian American, from everywhere. Because in this way, we can collect people, and because they have the right to get and to visit Jerusalem and to join us in this conference. And of course, it's very difficult for the Palestinians themselves to join this conference, although they live inside the country. This is why we appreciate anyone, the decision of anyone to come and to join us in this conference. And the Shibur Rihal will support their thoughts, they support them to find the solutions for any problems. They will find out they're living there because it's very well organized conference, as well as it will strengthen the connection between the Palestinian inside and the Palestinians in overseas. And when they come and see what's going on, the military settlers, how they go through the city and they bother the people there, as well as in this way we can support the human rights issue and listen from the people themselves who suffered a lot through the last 60 years ago.
Invitation for the public to go there is a good one, because Jerusalem is an extremely important city, and it's an interesting city. It brings you back to the history of all these religions. Doesn't matter if it's Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. It brings you back to all the history and all the rich history that the city has. Now, the program with the Jerusalem conference, it does not just entail visiting Jerusalem, but also it has many aspects and many facets to the program. What else there is on the program, like visiting other Palestinian cities and other places?
Yes, there is a plan to visit other places in Nazareth and in Jenin, in Nablus and Bethlehem, as well as there is a refugee camp around. We are planning.
What about those cities and towns that were destroyed by Israel back in 1948? Living in the United States, living in Canada, living in Australia, living in if you have a nationality that permits you to visit Jerusalem, I think it's your duty to actually visit Jerusalem and connect with the people in Jerusalem. They feel abandoned, and I think everyone around the world, anyone seeking justice and peace in this world, should actually go to Jerusalem and give support to those people in Jerusalem, that their homes being demolished, their livelihood being destroyed, and they are being pushed over by settlers who come from Europe just because God told them so. God told them so 2,000 years ago, they say, to go to Jerusalem and kill people, just like the Old Testament said. Go to the city and smite these people, kill them, kill women, children, uproot trees, kill animals. You've got to purify the land. And that's what it says. I mean, we're not making this stuff up, but unfortunately you have people who are interpreting this to mean just that in the 21st century, is to go to all these cities and kill the people there. To redeem yourselves, you must redeem the land and purify it from the Goyim, from the non-Jews. And that's exactly what the mentality of these settlers are, whom unfortunately, we don't hear much of them in the news. But I guarantee you, if the news media actually would start carrying some of these stories of who these settlers are and what their mentality and ideology is, you will be you will look at it, and you will look at things in a much different way and view than the way you do now. Is Jawdat back with us?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yes, Jawdat. Apologize, and we must have got cut off. I had asked you if the program also has a plan to actually visit like Haifa and Yafa and Akka and the destroyed villages in 1948.
That's right. The plan is also invited people to visit Haifa, Nazareth, and there is some cities, some villages destroyed completely near Jerusalem since the War of '67. It's the causes of these demolishing. The Israeli side says that because there is no people living there, but the truth, they deported them from there. Like in '48, they pushed the people to go out of their homes after they rocket their villages. Then the people, they afraid, and of course they left their villages at that time and lived in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Some of them, they left to Syria and the south of Lebanon. I mean, there is about 2 million Palestinian were thrown out of the border of Palestine in 48, even in 67 after the war.
You yourself was born in a refugee camp, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That's right. I born in the Isha refugee camp in Bethlehem, and of course, it's very shame, and I'm saying that again. It's very shame for all those who say that we are with the human rights and people live in the camps for about 8 years under tents without any support or food or well education or health or anything. And after that, they built for them small rooms. It's like 9 meters squares, 3 meters squares. No kitchen, no water inside, no bathrooms for about 12 to 15 years. It's very shame. Because of that, I am saying that there is no way for this occupation to keep on. This occupation will end, and we will follow. For me, as a journalist working since 25 years ago in media and journalism, really I saw many accidents and many attacks against children, women, against villages. Now I am remembering Nahalin villages when they attacked through Ramadan, when they killed about 6 Palestinians and 120 injured. When they attacked Bethlehem, also the Church of Nativity, and they rocketed by the tear gas and other sound bombs during the last invasion in 2002. Also, there is stories in Beit Sahur when they refused to pay the taxes for the occupation. This is why I am asking the Americans themselves to stop paying for the Israeli occupation, to stop sending weapons to the Israeli occupation. From their taxes which they pay, the government there send it to Israel to attack the Palestinians and to keep on occupying them.
Very good. Jawdat, we appreciate you being with us, especially it is about almost 3 o'clock in the morning where you're at. So we thank you for staying up late, and we thank you for coming on the program. And Jawdat Manna, the Media Relations Coordinator General with the Jerusalem Conference, thank you for being with us.